Well, hello there, folks. My name is Mark Miles. I love how we trainers, presenters, workshop facilitators really take their results to the next level. And if you've been following this channel, I'm all about giving you the good stuff. I do not hold anything back. And that would probably be the only criticism I have of myself, that essentially I give too much away, right? But my belief is if you really want the best, if you want to become the best, I may as well give you the best, and I may as well just share the great knowledge with you. Naturally, anything and everything I talk about comes from my book, and you can definitely check that out. In today's video, I want to talk to you about the pillars, right? There are many, many, many different models that we can use. Let me just fix up the lighting here, folks. There's many, many different models that we can actually use when we're putting together our training, right? So we can use the format model, we can use the for MOT model, we can use that one. We can use different structures in our session plans and all that fun stuff, right? But today I want to talk to you about the pillar model, the pillars, right? Or you could call it the three keys or the three pillars model, so to speak, right? But the really cool thing about this pillar model that I'm going to walk you through is essentially you can come up with your own intellectual property and very simple models you can go out to the marketplace with and have a lot of fun with, and basically share as your own ideas and really come to the marketplace with like a bit of novelty and a bit of great like ingenuity and individualized ideas that will really make you stand out as a great trainer presenter that you are there, right? So in today's video, I want to talk about a model that I've been sharing back since 2013, right? So this model is called the RER model. And reflecting recently, I realized that I created this and I popped it into the pillar model. And essentially, it's been super successful over my time delivering training, right? And this pillar model that I'm going to talk to you about is something that you can basically plug any idea into and you can become the standout expert in your field, right? So this model, the RER model, is just one example that I popped into the pillar technique of the pillar formula. Now, the RER one, I'm going to be a little bit authentic for a second, and I'm going to let you know I actually came up with the RER model 5 minutes before I ran my very first public speaking workshop. And I actually came up with it in the bathroom before I went out to deliver, right? So there's a little bit of background. Sometimes your greatest ideas come when you're in the shower, in the bathroom, right? So anyway, this RER model basically stands for rapport, engagement, retention. Rapport, engagement, retention. You probably heard me talk about that a number of times, right? But it became the three pillars to great training, or the three pillars to an awesome presentation, or the three pillars to a great training session, great presentation, great learning experience, right? So there had to be great rapport, great engagement, and great retention of information, right? Now, this model, the three pillars, is something I've been teaching on for a long period of time. How did I come up with it? Basically, I just asked myself, what would be the three keys to a great X, or the three things that would really make a thing very successful, right? So essentially, you can think about that for your own topic or your own industry or your own world. So you can think, okay, what are the three qualities for great gardening? Right? Or what are the three pillars for great leadership? Or what could be the three pillars for great safety in the workplace? Or what could be the three pillars for, I don't know, great communication with a team? All right. And you can come up with your own three pillars, so to speak, right? Could be anything at all. I'd encourage you to think about what are the three pillars, right? You can certainly do four pillars, that's totally fine, right? But I've used this concept to come up with the three pillars for great public speaking, the three pillars for great assessing or testing people in the workplace, right? So I use the pillars concept quite often, right? But let me give you an example about how you can actually teach it to people or use a pillar concept or the form, the structure when you're actually teaching. So within probably the last 5 minutes before I set up this video, I actually came up with the three pillars to great leadership. Three pillars to great leadership. So if I was going to teach these three pillars to great leadership, this is what it might sound like. All right. So let me run you through an example. Hi, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about the three pillars to great leadership. If you implement and deploy these three pillars, you are going to find that you're going to get so much more out of your team. Your team's going to be so much more productive, and you're going to feel so much more confident as a great leader. If you don't apply these three pillars, you might find that you have less of connection with your staff, and maybe you even lose staff over time and you get high turnover, right? So these three pillars, super exciting, and you probably want to grab a pen, get ready to write. So these three pillars are S, M, and E. S, M, and E. Highly recommend that you grab a pen and write those down. So S, M, and E. So the S stands for state management, state management. What we mean by that is you want to be really aware of your own state when you're coming into contact with other people. What kind of energy are you bringing to your interactions as a leader? And that also applies to if you want someone else to be doing it, you need to be willing to do it yourself, and you need to be showing up as a powerful leader, right? So state management. The second one is M. Now, M relates to motivation and motivation of others. What we want to be thinking about as a great leader is what is the thing that motivates the different people on your team? Because guaranteed, different things are going to motivate different individuals. And you want to start to understand and identify what motivates every person you're dealing with, right? And start to become aware of that. Now, the E stands for embrace, all right? So you probably want to grab a pen and write that one down. Embrace. Embrace your team. What we mean by that is a lot of great leaders are great, not because they know everything, but because they can have the right people on their team and be willing to ask their team for support and help, all right? So let's just recap. We had state management, we had identify what motivates other people. And then the third one was embrace your team and embrace their help, their support, and understand how they can support you and where you are taking the organization. So, folks, that was the three pillars of great leadership. And hopefully that made sense. If you've got any questions, feel free to raise your hand and happy to answer any questions at all that you'd love clarification around. So, folks, that was teaching with the pillars technique, right? So, what did I do? Well, I told you what the thing was. I then told you about the benefits of using the three pillars. I told you what happens if you don't use the pillars. I told you the three pillars. I told you to, grab a pen and write these down. I told you the letters. Then I unpacked each of the letters, and then I did a quick recap. And then I said, does anyone have any questions, right? This structure you can basically apply to any concept at all that you want to teach, right? It's super exciting, super easy. And generally, if you ever hear me present, I'm going to be presenting in some format or structure of this pillar structure or system that we've got going on here, right? So if you look back at some of my videos, you may hear the pillar. If you hear or even read any of the writing I do, you may see some pillars going on, right? Now, as I said, you can have three pillars, you can have four pillars, you can have as many pillars as you want, but less than six is always better, right? Now, the thing is, doing this pillar style also helps you as a trainer develop your ability to chunk information, right? Because as a learner, we like to hear information in chunks. We don't like to hear a dribble of consciousness. We like to hear chunks of information. And if we can hear 3 chunks, 4 chunks, 5 chunks, then we're good. We're able to remember that information much better than if it's presented in a blur. On that note, folks, hope you got some value from this little video on creating your pillars and teaching the pillars in the pillar structure there, right? Hope you got some value. Hope you have picked up the power of the pillars, the power of the pillars, and maybe it's even sparked you to start thinking about what's a model or what's a pillar or pillars that you can set up and start to teach in your world, right? And it's a great skill to have. You might need to ponder what would be the 3 qualities of a great X, or what would be the 3 keys to doing X, Y, Z, right? And pillars, principles, keys, you can play with the wording however you want to, but pillars, good one to go with. On that note, folks, hope you got some value. Like, share. Let's get the message out there. Thanks for watching, team, and we'll see you on the next one.